Welcome back, class. So this is our last lecture, mini lecture for chapter 36. We'll finish by discussing how phloem is transported. So translocation moves products of photosynthesis through the phloem, so where we are taking water and minerals up from the roots in the xylem. In the phloem, we are going to be taking sugar and other products of photosynthesis from the cells that are doing photosynthesis to other areas of the plant that need it. In angiosperms, sieve tube elements are what are actually the conduits for translocation in the phloem. Phloem sap is an aqueous solution high in sucrose, so that means it's pretty sugary. Sometimes it is harvested to turn into syrup. And travel in the phloem doesn't travel in just one direction. It's not all up or all down. It is traveling from a sugar source to a sugar sink. So it's traveling from a source where sugar is being produced. Often this is mature leaves doing photosynthesis, but it also could be a part of the plant where sugar has been stored and now sugar is being broken down. And from the sugar source, it'll travel to a sugar sink, which is an organ in the plant that is consuming or storing sugar. Often sugar sinks would be roots and flower buds and fruits that need a lot of sugar to build those parts of their plant. So that means that you could have a sugar source here, a leaf here doing photosynthesis traveling this direction to provide sugar to this sink, and you could have another sugar source here traveling in the opposite direction to give sugar to another sink in a different direction. So it's not all one direction. It's going from a source to a sink, whether that is moving up, down, or sideways across a branch. Depending on what species the plant is, the sugar can move by a symplastic route or both symplastic and apoplastic pathways. Companion cells will enhance the movement of the sugar between the apoplast and the symplast. Sometimes it even takes active transport to get the phloem loaded. And then once it is in the sieve tube, that phloem sap will move by bulk flow. And that bulk flow is mainly pushed by positive pressure. Proton pumping and transport of sucrose and hydrogen are able to accumulate sucrose inside of cells. And so at the sink, the sugar molecules will diffuse from the phloem into the sink, and that sugar has water following along with it, so water will also be traveling in. And so the phloem sap will flow from sources where there's a high pressure to the sinks where the pressure is low. So let's look at how the sugar or the phloem is moving in the spring when the plant is starting to grow and form buds, and how it is going to move in the summer.
Now the weather is changing. In autumn, the plant's leaves die and its metabolic processes slow down. The plant is dormant during the winter. In early spring, new leaves begin to grow. The taproot is the sugar source. Its stored sugars are transported to the leaves where they are used for growth. Rapid growth of the leaves requires more sugar than they can produce through photosynthesis. Early in the spring, the leaves are the sugar sink. In the spring, the direction is reversed, but the mechanism responsible for the translocation of phloem sap is the same. Sugar in the taproot is actively transported into the phloem. Water flows into the phloem by osmosis, increasing the water pressure. In the leaves, sugar is actively transported out of the phloem and water follows. Pressure flow drives water and sugar away from the sugar source and toward the sugar sink.
Okay, then how does that change in the summer?
It's summer, and this plant's leaves are making sugars that are being stockpiled in its taproot. A tissue called phloem transports the organic products of photosynthesis throughout the plant in a solution called phloem sap. This process is called translocation. In the summer, which part of the plant is the sugar source? The leaves are the sugar source, producing sugar via photosynthesis. Since the taproot is storing sugars, it is the sugar sink.
Sugar produced by the leaves is pumped into the sieve tube members of the phloem by active transport. This raises the concentration of sugar, causing water to move into the phloem by osmosis. Water pressure at the sugar source increases, pushing water and sugar away from the sugar source and toward the sugar sink, a process called bulk flow. At the sugar sink, root cells remove sugar by active transport and convert the sugar into starch. Again, water follows by osmosis. This lowers the water pressure at the sink. Thus, the phloem transports water and its sugar cargo from the sugar source in the leaves, where there is a buildup of pressure, to the sugar sink in the root, where the pressure is lower.
All right, you all, that is the end of chapter 36. You are almost done with this semester. One more chapter. I hope you're getting excited. So let's review some things you should have been able to pick up from this mini lecture. Compare and contrast the forces that move phloem sap and xylem sap over long distances. Identify plant organs that are sugar sources, organs that are sugar sinks, and organs that could be either, and explain. And why can xylem transport water and minerals using dead cells, whereas phloem requires living cells? All right, you all, let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you later. Bye.